Sayın Steven Borncamp'i çağırıyorum konuşmasını vermek üzere.
Great. Good afternoon. I'm very honored and excited to be here. I was here very shortly about a year ago. It quickly became one of my favorite cities in the world, and I'm very excited to see the very quick and thorough development of the Turkish Green Building Council. My talk today is about the Central East European region, and I exclude Turkey only because there's so many competent people who will be talking about Turkey. So I'll go through a quick overview of the region. I'll talk about the crisis impact on sustainable construction investment, and I would agree, we're not talking about a crisis, we're talking about a fundamental change in how things are done. Legislative trends and incentives. And I'm going to go very quickly, but I can promise you we have a lot of this information on our website and it's available. So I'll try to give the highlights today, but rest assured you can find the underlying information. So for the overview, I broke it down into large projects and international funds. Also do-it-yourself projects, how they started in the region, and also what we see as a preferred model going forward for sustainability. And also social housing, which is a big part in Eastern Europe in particular, with some legacy challenges. So in Romania and really the Central East Europe region, the last few years we've seen a fundamental shift towards green buildings. This, just 2 or 3 years ago, was really an unknown phenomenon. It was something that people maybe had heard about in other countries, but surely it wasn't going to be in Romania and not in the region. I had about 2 serious conversations 3 years ago with developers who incidentally did turn out to build green certified buildings. Now I have about 60 ongoing serious conversations, and they're hiring consultants, and so you can accept that if they're hiring consultants and paying to explore certified green building projects, that they're at least considering it. They can consider it and may not do it, but they're investing some time and some resources into it. So I think this is a very common sign. This is a project in Romania, in Bucharest, which interestingly was the largest transaction of last year. This was a €100 million project that fit very well. It wasn't designed to be a green building, but it was designed with public transport, sitting on top of a metro station with very high energy efficiency, targeting LEED Gold certification, which we believe they shall achieve very easily. This is Procter & Gamble's greenest factory in the world. It is a model around the world now for how they will build all of their future factories. It's hard to see just from this picture, but this office, for example, this is not your typical office for an industrial facility. Usually industrial facilities are very much an afterthought when it comes to putting the office space. This is a natural daylight, indoor air quality, many different considerations. This is one of the winners of our Green Building Project of the Year, which is not only a green success, but an economic success during very difficult times in Romania. All of the major rating tools are present in Romania, including LEED and BREEAM. DGNB is beginning with some projects with some German and Austrian companies, and also Living Building Challenge, a more aspirational certification. It's another building. This will be BREEAM certified. This will be a LEED certified building coming in Zagreb. This is a green mall with a lot of urban connectivity, obviously. In Sofia, Bulgaria. This is LEED Core and Shell in Budapest. This is interesting. The Sochi Olympics are coming very soon. 20 billion euros worth of investment required, and I've heard even larger numbers than that. There's a very high standard of green, and things are still under discussion. But in order to win the Sochi Olympics, much like the London Olympics, there was a very high green standard placed upon the organizers, and that will be carried through. So this is actually a mining site in Sevastopol with a very large eco-village planned and underway. When we talk about the Central East Europe region, and if let's talk in the countries of the post-Soviet sphere, they had a lot of the similar challenges with social housing. Also, as an expression of freedom, in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, people really enjoyed building their own homes. They saw this as something they could not do before. They didn't have good materials. Materials were hard to find. Expertise was focused on large industrial projects. So there was really an informal process among friends and with complete lack of financing. You could not go and borrow money to do a home properly. So what we saw, such as some of these pictures, were a lot of processes which didn't comply to code, which were highly energy inefficient, and very poor use of space. But this is prevalent around the region. And so the challenge is, if we look, the large projects we saw are definitely going the green direction. The challenge we have in this region is that a lot of these structures follow this. This is more usual than not. So when this was our building, and we're doing a version 1.0 green renovation, we were very challenged 4 or 5 years ago to find everything. But we are intent on doing it. But you can see these houses are very large houses